Steve Pitcher of the Joint Staff, welcome. You're the Senior Cyber Survivability Analyst for the Joint Staff. What is the definition of cyber survivability?
Well, cyber survivability is both cybersecurity compliance, the requirements for it, and secure cyber resilience engineering, the other aspects of trying to put all of this stuff together. But the important aspect is that we are defining cyber in terms of performance. For years, we tried to do cost, schedule, performance, cost, schedule, performance, and security. Well, we failed miserably at that because the program managers never assessed on their ability to include that. So when in 2015, when we started this process, we looked to system survivability to implement cyber survivability, because we don't do cybersecurity for the sake of cybersecurity. We do it for the mission. Mm-hmm. And that's really been transformational, because now we get with our seniors early when they define their performance requirements for the function, for the capability itself, and ensure that they are considering cyber along with all of those other functional requirements.
How has that concept evolved over the last 10 years, and how do you expect to see that trajectory continue to grow?
What's really good is that even though we haven't had DODDs and DODIs that have explicitly stated you need to do cyber survivability, we're still a little bit too much focused on cybersecurity compliance or secure cyber resilient engineering and not orchestrating our efforts. But despite all of that, the services have seen resource and mission risk benefits in considering cyber survivability with all of their other functional requirements from day one, so that the analysis of alternatives and the request for proposals include cyber as part of those performance expectations. And so the services have done a great job. The Army's got their Army Cyber Acquisition Discipline guidance for any and all capabilities, IT capabilities. The Air Force has got their Secure Cyber Resilient Engineering guidance. The Navy is also doing all of those things as well, putting it into their program protection plans. And the Marines have really gotten behind it as well. So even without all of the DoD upper higher level guidance, they've been really moving out with it. And so it's really good to see how far we've gotten, even without all of that other help with that.
What has driven that? Since there isn't a DoD-wide push, since this is happening organically, what's driven it, and what do you think is necessary to continue to drive this as the threat landscape changes, as technology changes, and so on?
Well, the goodness is that even though it only applies to systems going through the JSIDs, the joint requirements process, it's had enough high-level visibility there for those large acquisitions that they've been able to see those resource and mission risk benefits and considering them for all acquisition pathways. Even though it only applies to major capability acquisitions today, it's required for those. The resource and mission risk benefits are there if they consider cyber survivability. And lately I've been trying to say, you don't even have to think about it in terms of some transformational cyber survivability perspective. It's still defining those cybersecurity and cyber resilience performance requirements that we should all be doing anyway. You don't even have to you don't have to release the ledge of cybersecurity and reach for cyber survivability. It's just, how can we better define our performance requirements so they are part of cost, schedule, and performance risk trade space decisions throughout life cycle.
Excuse me. What would you like to see the agents or the departments continue to do, the services continue to do, to stay on the right path, Steve?
I think the services are on the right path. They're just very large, and so we still got niches where they have not seen the benefits yet. But I really would like to see that we start better coordinating our DoD guidance, making sure that the young people, not me, I've been here for 42 years, but, even those, we need the younger people who can say, God, if only we could do the following. And they're going to come up with a lot of stuff that's not going to make sense, or stuff that we thought of 20 or 30 years ago, but, and we didn't do it because of some reason. But today, maybe those things make sense. So we've got to actively fight for inputs from the people who are actually doing the jobs today, get their inputs, and at the 06 GS15 level, come out and look at all of that and say, okay, some of this makes sense, we really got to do this. This one here, if we tweak it a little bit, we could really be transformational. And too often we jump right to general officer coordination because it is just so important that we implement some capability. And too often it's almost irrelevant because we didn't do up front what we needed to with the action officers. And then, so we need to do the storming, the norming, and the performing. And right now we're just rushing to performing, and we can't perform any better if we don't do a better job of upfront. What should we really be doing to transform the way we do business?
Steve, it's great to have you on the program. Thanks for joining me.